Boris, going ahead of the curve, announced new trade rules protect Britain from foreign firms' takeover. British businesses crucial to national security are now protected by new rules, making it harder for foreign firms to take them over, Business Secretary Kwarteng has announced. The move has been warmly welcomed by David Jones, Deputy Chairman of the European Research Group, ERG, who said the sensible regulations were definitely needed in the current climate, with UK companies vulnerable to predatory foreign entities. The National Security and Investment Act is widely regarded as the biggest shake-up of the UK's national security regime for 20 years and will permit ministers to scrutinise approaches by overseas interests much more closely. The government will also be able to impose certain conditions on a takeover or block it, although ministers were keen to stress this will happen rarely. Mr. Kwarteng said, "The UK is world-renowned as an attractive place to invest, but we have always been clear that we will not hesitate to step in where necessary to protect our national security. The new investment screening process in place from today is simple and quick, giving investors and firms the certainty they need to do business, and giving everyone in the UK the peace of mind that their security remains our number one priority." The act is viewed by some as a response to concern about Chinese takeovers of strategically important technology businesses, with some of the deals already being pored over by officials under existing rules. They include relatively small deals, such as the sale of the semiconductor manufacturer Newport wafer fab to a Dutch company owned by China's Wing Tech, which is partially backed by the state. Newport wafer fab has multiple contracts with the UK government, including defence-related projects. The government funding body UK Research and Innovation has suspended grants to the company, while a consortium of British investors is reportedly ready to submit a £300 million bid if the deal is blocked. Much larger foreign buyouts by US companies also came under the microscope in 2021, owing to concerns about national security or intellectual property. Ministers will also be able to unwind deals that have already taken place if false or misleading information was provided. Foreign investors and businesses will have to notify the government if they plan to buy any part of a UK business across 17 sensitive areas of the economy that could threaten national security, including artificial intelligence and nuclear energy services. Plans for the new rules were first unveiled in November, with Mr. Kwarteng setting out the risk factors he will take into account. It will be enacted retrospectively to any deals made since November 12, 2020, and has already been cited by the government over deals in the defence sector announced early last year. Any deals scrutinised under the Enterprise Act 2002 and current investigations under the same Act will continue under the previous rules and will not face investigations under the new legislation. Mr. Jones, the Tory MP for Clwyd West, said that the new legislation is sensible. He added, "There has been a lot of interest in British high-tech companies from predatory foreign entities. It's important that we make sure that essential national security interests are protected, and the Act will ensure that happens." Guidance published on the government's website last year states, the government will be able to impose certain conditions on an acquisition. In rare instances, the government may unwind or block an acquisition completely. The Act is administered by the Investment Security Unit within the Department for Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy, BIS. The decision-maker is Mr. Kwarteng himself. The statement added, the government can call in an acquisition for assessment if it reasonably suspects that it is a qualifying acquisition. This guidance explains what these are, that has given rise to, or may give rise to, a risk to national security. This applies whether the acquisition has been completed or is still in progress or contemplation. The 17 areas are advanced materials, advanced robotics, artificial intelligence, civil nuclear, communications, computing hardware, critical suppliers to government, cryptographic authentication, data infrastructure, defense, energy, military and dual use, quantum technologies and satellite and space technologies.